Hi, everybody. Pete Pistone here for Midwest Racing Central today. And yes, Mother Nature looks like she's finally cooperating. The racing season here in the Midwest is about to continue this weekend up at one of the most popular and historic racetracks, really, in the country, Slinger Super Speedway. And let's bring in from Slinger, Travis Dassow with us here on Midwest Racing Central. How are you, Travis? Good to see you.
Good. Thanks for having me on, Pete.
You bet. Well, obviously, for those who don't know, this will be your second year at the helm there. Let's talk about year one, sort of, and what you learned and kind of bridge the off season that you're ready for 2026 for your racetrack, Travis.
Yeah, last year we took over. It was like the 1st of March last year, so we only had a month leading into the season to try to get stuff going, and it was like drinking through a garden hose. It was just trying to learn everything, get everything going. I've been in racing for 30 years, but never promoted, never ran the other side of things, the concession side and all that stuff. So we learned a lot last year. Did some stuff good. There's some stuff bad we did, and we had all winter now to kind of go through everything and make some updates, do some different things, and hope now we should be ready to go for this season.
So you kind of basically went up from a fan to a driver to now running a racetrack, I guess, right? That's kind of the progression. What are some of the things you sort of learned along the way now that you had an opportunity to kind of see what you do now from the other side, both the pit gate and in the grandstands?
Yeah, when I've been going to Slinger Speedway since I've been 4 years old, and so I started out going in those grandstands and seeing that sort of thing, and remember those days of being a kid and being able to go on Sunday night with my dad and my brother, and see that side of it first, and then for the last 20 some years racing super lates and different things there, and traveling all over the country racing. I got to learn different things in different places that I liked, different items at the different racetracks that they did or had or whatever. And now owning the racetrack, we have the ability to kind of apply some of those things we liked and some of the things I remember as a kid that maybe kind of went by the wayside over the last few years, and start bringing some stuff back that way. And it's been fun. It's been something different, but it's great to be still in the racing community, doing that sort of thing. And it's just the next phase of my racing career.
So when I brought you on, and I mean this, Slinger is popular, it's historic, it's famous around the country. I would imagine some of that's got to resonate with you. How does it feel to be at the helm of a racetrack that has all that history behind it,
Yeah,
Travis?
uh, being the owner of Slinger Speedway really didn't hit me because of it. I've been going there since for 35 years. Like it's just another place. It's a place that I lived 10 minutes away from my whole life. And once I owned it and started having the people calling me and talking about it, and different people and people that just love the place that have been going there 50, 60 years, and all the different stories I've heard and everything like that. I mean, yeah, I knew a lot of the stories, but there's a lot I don't know too. And just the history there is just unbelievable, and the amount of different racers that have been there, the racers that have won there, won championships there. I mean, that's names you've heard for Sundays for years and years and years in the NASCAR ranks. And it's a pretty cool little place.
Yeah, I mean, I bring it up on my NASCAR show on Sirius XM, and people know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't even have to say where it is; they know Slinger just by that name because of what you just said. So let's talk about again, kind of year one and some of the things you did in the off season. Let the listeners and the viewers know some of the things that you're going to have different this year on the property. I know I follow you on social media. It looks like you're doing some upgrades around the racetrack, Travis.
Yeah, we've done a lot of work over the winter. Once our last race happened in September, we haven't stopped. I pretty much worked every day at the racetrack till the snow flew, and I've been there every day since the snow's been gone. I mean, and when the snow's been there, the weather this spring's been pretty crazy. But we've added some fencing. We redid a bunch of fencing in 3 and 4, catch fence stuff. We bought a bunch of fencing from Beaver Dam Raceway, which is a dirt track down the street from us, and they went out of business, which sucks. But we were able to secure that stuff that was only 4 or 5 years old. So we got a section of that up before the season started, which turned out great. And the plan is to finish that off in the next year or two to make sure we got the catch fence before was only 6 feet tall, now it's 12 foot. So it's a big change. It's just people noticed it right away. So everybody's been pretty grateful for that. That we've had some cars get up in that fence in prior years, and hopefully we keep them inside the park for safe. So yeah, and then we've done a bunch of work in the concession stand stuff, just updating, upgrading, cleaning up, doing things like that. A bunch of work in the pits to just try to, clean up things and make it easier to park a lot of these bigger haulers nowadays. Stuff's changed over the last 20 years, and we got to make sure we have room for everybody. So we've been doing that. And, we just hit every corner of of the facility, really. You see one corner, or you go to a concession stand, or you go to a corner of the racetrack and you go, man, we really got to do this. So it's like we just kind of hit whatever we can and what time allows, and we'll be ready to go this Sunday.
So I'm kind of curious how you get feedback. Let's start with the fans. I mean, race fans just have to ask them; they'll give you an answer. But how do you sort of communicate with them to know their experience that they're having, some of the things that are working, and to your point, maybe there's some things you want to make better for that fan experience?
Yeah, I've known a lot of the fans that have been there a long time. Between fans and sponsors, a lot of them I've actually interacted with in my 30 years of racing or whatever, and a lot of them don't have a problem telling you what they like and don't like. So, which I think is awesome. I want to make a place that everybody's looks forward to going to every Sunday night. So any kind of opinions or things that need to get worked on, or we don't notice all of it. We're just there every day working on things. We don't notice everything when the stands are full or whatever, and what people are struggling with and need help with. So we've been listening, and that's where we're drivers and fan side. We've been trying to listen and try to make adjustments and try to make it the best place in the Midwest for sure, if not the country to go want to go race at.
All right, let's talk about the drivers, and obviously your schedule. As you mentioned, you have the ASA Midwest Tour there this Sunday. That's what basically your season opener. Slinger Nationals, of course, in July. You have an ASA Stars National Tour coming up on Father's Day weekend. But your weekly program, what do you have in store this year for 2026 for the fans every Sunday night up there, Travis?
Yeah, so we've changed the schedule up a little bit. We've at lengthened the season a few races because fall weather in Wisconsin has really been pretty decent the last few years. So now we go to the end of September. We continued some of them special events that we do with Slam Fest and stuff like that, and monster trucks coming back. But then on the racing side of it, the super late side, we've kind of brought back an old one of the things I remember when I was a kid. The Triple Crown series we had always it was usually sponsored by Coca Cola back in the day, and it was one of them things where you always saw some of them guys coming over from Michigan and Midwest and different things and come and race. And I want to start trying to build that back up again. So we started a Triple Crown series. It's a 7,000 to win super late show every night, 125 lapper on four tires, and it's a 1 day show. Try to make it affordable for the guys, and I've had a lot of interest in that. So we have a total of seven super late shows weekly, and I think we're gonna have close to 25, 27 cars every one of those shows. So it's a big gain from about 2 years ago. They were getting down to about 14 a week. So gaining 10, 15 cars a week has been huge. And the fans love it. And you start noticing that the fans are starting to get a lot more interested and starting to show up a lot more. So you bring the best cream of the crop racers in the Midwest to the racetrack, you're going to bring the fans. So
Well, nobody knows this better than you, but when you talk super late models, a big topic of conversation is unified rules and trying to make sure that everybody's sort of at least on the same page. What's that like? I mean, we've got tracks up here in the super late model world that are running on a somewhat regular basis. I got Grundy County down here. They're going to do kind of what you're doing with the six pack kind of a deal. So, how's the collaboration, would you say, Travis, on the super late model side with the tracks in our Midwest area?
we try to work as close together as we can. I think there's more unity in our area than some of the other parts of the country.
Yep.
And there's a lot of different series across the country and everything like that, and to get them all on the same page sometimes is a struggle. Our Wisconsin-based teams along racetracks along with Grundy and Elko and different places like that, Norway up in Michigan, we all interact during the winter and try to make the best moves we can with rules and different changes and things like that. And for the most part, other than maybe a couple little rules here and there, our super late rules are pretty close between all the different racetracks, which is pretty amazing. And so looking back 10 years ago or so, how far apart a lot of these racetracks were, it definitely makes a big difference for these teams to be able to go and race different places and not have to change much.
Yeah, I think that's great. I want to talk about your pro late model division because I think that's kind of growing in our area of the country at Slinger as well. What's that going to look like for you guys in 26, Travis?
Yeah, so we made a big change. We had a good class last year. We were on an American Racer 8-inch tire. This year we made the jump and went to a 10-inch tire to try to improve racing and to try to utilize make the tires last a little longer. So we're not trying to keep it to a one tire show, make it economical. So we went to a Hoosier 1070, which is more of an economical 10-inch tire. Speeds are going to pick up maybe a tenth or two, but I think the racing is going to be a lot better. And I've had a lot of good feedback on that stuff with early testing and things like that. So I think that's really exciting. The fans are going to be in for a treat. I think the racing is going to be a lot better as in the pro late model stuff, and we got a couple big shows, like starting with this weekend. We got $2,500 to win for a 75 lap late model show, which I mean, I don't know. There's not many in the area that pay that good. So we got two of them on the schedule this year, and I think a total of 11 nights for the late models.
That's good stuff there. So, what is your kind of your philosophy, Travis, for running a weekly show? I grew up at Rockford Speedway as a fan like you. I got to work there for a while. And on Saturday night at 7-Eleven, that bomb was going to go off and they were going to go racing at Rockford and get everybody out of there by 10 o'clock was kind of the goal. How do you look at running your weekly show there at Slinger?
Yeah, that was a big thing that we did last year. We racing started dragging out a lot, over the last few years, and racing wasn't getting done until 10:15, 10:30 a lot of times, and that's tough on a Sunday night for whether kids or parents. I mean, trying to adults having to go to work the next morning. So we kept the start time the same at 6:30. That's been that way for, I don't know, 10, 15 years at least. And but we really put in an emphasis to try to be done in 3 hours. Be done by 9:30. And I think last year we only went past 9:30 twice. So I think that, I mean, the fans love that. We keep the stuff moving, we keep everything rolling along, and it just really it keeps everybody interactive. It doesn't get boring, doesn't get slowed down, doesn't get bogged down. We just keep it moving along and get them in, get them out, and they're happy and on their way home.
Well, as we all know, your signature program is again one of the most prestigious super late model races, the Slinger Nationals this year, Tuesday, July 14th. Any changes this year? What's in store when we get up there later this summer, Travis?
Yeah, so we always have a Sunday night show, like a lead in prelude to nationals, which brought in like the Midwest trucks and a couple other divisions. Well, we always had that missing point of Monday. We always had practice on Monday, but we never had an event or anything to kind of get the fans to hang out for 3 days and watch something, do something. So between a couple of us and Flow Racing, we came up with a new idea for Monday night qualifying draw. So usually we just did like a normal draw and picked up picked a chip or whatever, and that's your qualifying order for Tuesday. Well, we came up with a new idea, and in the asphalt world, I don't know if anything's ever been done like it, which I don't think it has. But we're going to do a bracket showdown. It's called. So we're going to go off of practice speeds on Monday during the day, and we're going to line up a 32 team bracket. So you're going to have one, passes in practice going against 32 in practice, and we're going to have 16 head-to-head matchups in the first round. It won't be actual head-to-head, but it'll be like qualifying runs. So you're going to have a car starting on the back stretch, you're going to have a car starting on the front stretch, and you're going to get 3 laps. Fastest lap of those 3 laps, you move on to the next round. So we're going to go 16, 8, 4, and into the final four. And we have a sponsor that's been donating, that's sponsored with 4 new sets of tires. And you're going to have 4 guys going for $5,000 on a qualifying run, realistically, to try to win. And the way that ends up, so the winner gets 5 grand. There'll be some other contingencies and different pay throughout that also. But the way you finish in that is the way you qualify on Tuesday. So if you win the thing, you're qualifying last on Tuesday, which is usually a pretty good incentive at our racetrack. Usually you want to qualify a little later, so it should be pretty interesting. You're the first one out. You're going to qualify 30, or you're going to qualify first come Tuesday. So
Very cool. All right, so that's a little different wrinkle. And another thing is that a lot of NASCAR drivers come up and compete. I talked to Carson Hocevar a few weeks ago. I know he's coming. I know we're still a couple months away. How do you expect that to kind of play out this year with some of the NASCAR drivers coming up to the Nationals this year, Travis?
yeah, I mean, we already have some great local talent that's in NASCAR already too. That's already committed to come with Ty Majeski and Luke Fenhouse and Derek Kraus and guys like that. But we are working on a couple others. We're close on at least one or two more that'll should make the fans pretty happy to bring on in, and make it a great show, and make the 47th annual Nationals one of the best we've ever seen.
Look forward to it. All right, before you go, you brought up Flow Racing. We had Michael Rigsby from Flow with us here a couple of weeks ago, and you're a part of that Flow program that we see on Sunday nights and some of the
Yep.
special things. Not, as you know, not everybody that runs a racetrack is on board with that streaming versus not streaming. Why have you decided to be with Flow Racing and Travis and stream the races every Sunday night?
You know, that is a big debate. With
Yeah.
track owners and things, if it helps their product or hurts their product. I'm on the end that I believe it helps it. I'm a fan just like everybody else, and I tune in the Flow 5 days a week, and see what's on. I love watching the Lucas Oil Dirt and High Limit and all that stuff, and it makes me more interested in the product, and I'm not a dirt racer by any means, but I love dirt racing now because of Flow Racing. And I go to dirt races Friday, Saturday nights whenever I can in the area because of watching on TV and saying, "Man, that's cool. Let's go, let's go try something different." And that's kind of what we're trying. That's what I believe it helps. You get, especially in the flow area, because now you have the Cars Tour and you have some of them other stuff on flow. But at the beginning, it was just dirt, and you have a lot of dirt fans. And I think being on flow gains a whole nother audience that they're gonna watch and they're gonna go, "Man, you know what? Let's go to the Slinger Nationals this year or something. Something different. They're used to going to dirt tracks or whatever, and then we're trying to get some more dirt fans to come over to the asphalt world. That's part of it. But then I think it's just a great platform to be on. Their social media stuff is awesome to help promote the racetrack. Things like that. I mean, I get it. If it's bad weather and stuff, I wouldn't blame some people to stay home and watch it on TV instead. I get it, and that's part of it. You take the good with the bad, but I think there's a lot more upside to it than there is downside.
Well, I love watching it on Sunday nights for sure. Listen, I know you're busy. It's a busy week. Very much appreciate your time here. Look forward to coming up there a couple of times this summer, and good luck in 2026, Travis.
Awesome, sounds good. Thanks a lot.
That's Travis Dassow from Slinger Super Speedway. They kick off the season on Sunday. The ASA Midwest Tour is there, and you can go up there all summer long. I'm Pete Pistone. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time on Midwest Racing Central Today.